Hello, everybody. My name is Roy Woods Jr., aka The Legend. This is my show, Legendary Ministries and, moneylegend.godministries. That's the name of my channel and all this stuff. And so today I want to tell you this. Stop chasing money and start living and enjoying life. A lot of us, we get so caught up in trying to chase that almighty dollar and all that stuff. We work so much to where we miss out on life. We don't think about nothing else but that money and all that stuff. And God didn't make you to live that way. People once told me before, some years back, they said, you work to live, you don't live to work. When you got so much stuff, okay, you can't really enjoy it, because if you always working all the time, all right, you can't enjoy what you already got. And so a man told me this years ago, you can always replace money, but you can't always replace time. It was back in the day when I first got with my wife, and of course, she was my girlfriend at the time. I never forget one night, the job I had at the time, he was my boss, and he said to me, Roy, if I gave you a choice to go home or stay, what would you do? I said, I want to make my money, but at the same time, I want to go home and see my girl. And what he said to me was, he said, all right, that's when he said it. That was 2008. I never forget that. And after he said it to me, I said, you know what? You're right, Mr. BJ. That was his name, Mr. BJ. That's what we called him. And after he said, you can always replace money, but you can't always replace time, I said, all right, I'm out of here. He said, all right, go ahead and go home, Roy. And ever since then, that's stuck in my head ever since, is that don't spend your time, as Adrian Rogers, the late great Adrian Rogers said, trying to make a living to where you don't have time to live. You see a lot of fathers, they do that nowadays. They be on the road a lot. They spend all day and all night working. You got some others that do it too, husbands and wives and just people in general who they spend all this time trying to make more and more money. They're never satisfied with what they have. So the more they have, the more they want. And they just, can never get enough. And so then the years go by and they miss out. How the kids grow up, well, because they was never home, they miss out. And, the years go by with husbands and wives, so they miss out on the years. And so, things, they come and go anyway. And so they fade and stuff goes out of style after a while. So then what? And then you never know when you're going to take your last breath. Just think. I use for two good examples. I miss him so much. My stepfather, Matt Gay, he been gone 4 years now. My father-in-law,